All right, I hit the streaming button.
We're rolling.
Let me just validate on.
Give a kudos there.
Yep, we're live.
You can tell we're live?
Yeah.
Is it live, Todd?
We should be on.
What does your phone say?
I just got a notification
That
saying
we're on? All right.
Sweet.
Okay, we're good. Welcome to the, how many have we done of this, Todd? 5?
I believe so.
This is our 5th Sobriety Rock Show, right?
Yeah.
AKA Success Stories.
Love it.
Where'd you get that? Do that again.
And here's Todd Crandall.
That's hilarious. That's great. So I have the comedian Pat with us today. Welcome aboard, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good to be here.
Let's start with this. I know, well, I'm going to ask you. Are you nervous about doing this?
A little bit.
Why?
Just the whole that it's going out to whoever wants to see it, you know, and I think it's awesome, and yeah, I'm a little nervous.
Okay, so can we take that when you said it's going out to whoever's going to see
The world.
it, right? Does that, or could that, can that, and hopefully it will, motivate you and give you that extra, hey, I said these things, I have to own these things?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Actually, a couple of weeks ago, you had a topic, or you mentioned something about owning, you know, owning what you say. And it kind of flicked the switch a little bit, and I was like, whoa, you know, I own my past. Never really thought about owning the future.
Right.
So
That's good.
That's great.
So, all right, let's use this. When you start talking about the good stuff from your past, i.e. the sports stuff you were doing, okay, and how you can take that drive and dedication and correlate that to this conversation right now of, yeah, I'm nervous, but I've learned about how I can own my words for the future, and kind of tie those two together.
Whew, well, I grew up snowboarding. For those who know me, that was my MO for years and years and years. And so that's one thing that I have in common, you know, among other things, but the fact that you promote holistic, you know, healthy lifestyles, that's right up my alley, because that's where I was lacking a lot of. You know, being nervous is natural.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in some big contests where, you know, you gotta just go with it and, you know, and hope for the best. And so I think nerves, especially now that I am sober and I do have a little bit of time, you know, the feelings that, I mean, nervousness. I mean, even when I mention my name and you know, the meeting here, I could tell my face gets red, and you know, so that's huge, and it's nice to actually feel that, you know, rather than just shrugging it off like, oh, here I am, blah 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 blah. You know, I mean, it's a good feeling to have, because now I have to push through it, you know. And as far as owning, I've never felt like that, you know. It's always, I never really owned anything I said.
Wow.
It was all, you know, for years and years there were a lot of pushing and pulling internally that, you know, luckily my gut on some stuff said that let's, you know, go in this direction. But owning it is huge as the future, and huge with the past.
You know, I've been doing this for a few days. I've never had a conversation like this with somebody before. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you as a person, but again, I don't think there's been a conversation like this. I know I haven't had one personally with somebody with respect to sobriety. There it is again, right?
Okay, quit.
But think of, a lot of people, they look at our slogan and our person think, oh, do I have to run, or is this all about running? And the answer to that is no, but exercise in some capacity is a part of that balanced, holistic lifestyle that we're talking about. The thing that I like that you're talking about is how the nervousness of things from the past happen in early recovery, but then now it's like you're starting to see, wait a minute, I can utilize these as good things to enhance that sobriety. And that's what I want people to get out of this, that, oh, it's not talking about snowboarding and another athlete guy. That's not it. It's dealing with the feelings behind that from something that was good even in the addiction that is applicable now to your recovery. And I think that's awesome.
It's a beautiful thing. And it really opens my eyes because I didn't exactly have an outlet, because I have this constant need for adrenaline, for, you know, that's just how I was growing up. I was always doing something to push myself to the limit of everything, which drinking definitely put me where I am today. But, you know, as the years went on, I lost touch with some of those feelings because of being consumed by substances. And so now, with my eyes open a lot wider now, I'm able to recognize these certain feelings that I pushed deep down thinking they were nothing, where it's like, wow, I am a little nervous. And I may say to other people that, you know, oh yeah, it's no big deal, but you know, it's really, it's a good feeling to be nervous, because that means that I'm actually progressing, you know, and moving forward.
Yeah. Racing for Recovery is not the first treatment attempt you've made.
Correct.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Not in a negative way, but in an educational way. Previous treatment modalities, I guess, did not talk like this, like the way?
No, absolutely not.
So how were you spoken to, and what was suggested to you to beat this prior to coming into Racing for Recovery?
Well, it was never, recovery was never really explained or put, you know, it wasn't exactly the best way for me, because what I found here is you can live, you can be a human, you can be an actual person that has feelings, where the two other places that I had done over the previous years, it was on a time-based thing, and which is great that, you know, you get a little recognition, a little more freedom, a bigger bed maybe, whatever whatever it may be.
Right.
And, you know, with being involved with Racing for Recovery, as basically these certain feelings that I pushed, as basically, you know, let me know that it's okay to go to a concert or, you know, work out. And so, that being said, it's a whole new, it's a whole experience, you know, and I really look forward to not only every day waking up, but also walking in the doors of this place, because it's so inviting, and it's not, doesn't make me feel like doesn't make me feel like I'm a bad person for having addiction problems.
So you said earlier in that about you've been allowed to live here. And that is the sole purpose of what we're trying to do here. It's our message is you don't have to label yourself for the rest of your life as I'm an addict, but I used to do drugs. I've learned why I did them from an emotional level, and now I'm not only not doing them anymore, I am thriving in the life that I've chosen to lead in your own manner. It doesn't have to be the same as anybody else, but it's taking our concept and make it an individualized thing for you, and that's what I hear you doing, and that's cool.
And what's really funny about that is I can relate to a lot of people. I've done a lot of things, I've met a lot of people, and so for me, I've been asked the questions, how is it? How are you the way you are right now? And because I'm a totally different person, and it's really relatable to say, how I feel and how my outlook on life and my perspective on every day. And so, it's just an open arm, idealistic place for everyone that, it's just inviting to me, and it's really a lifesaver.
So when you talk about inviting, it's like you and a couple of other people have come into this. You kind of came in when we were already doing some pretty awesome things, and we've enhanced that with the live stream and now the Sobriety Rocks thing we're doing now. You're from out of the area.
Correct.
And when we first started talking about doing the live stream, and we had conversations about, wow, my family's going to actually be able to be a part of my recovery. Can you talk a little bit about what that's been like for you and them?
That's huge. Just to hear from my family that, just to hear the comments of, wow, you look good, and wow, everybody, just the whole streaming of the meeting opened my family's eyes to what the message is and what opportunities the world has to check it out at least. And because they didn't, honestly, my sister, before she knew what was going on here, she had her questions, and she was really curious what color the Kool-Aid was. That got me thinking like this.
That.
And because I couldn't put it all into words. It wasn't, because I was, knew when this was kind of getting set up and everything. And so for them to see that and see more of, the people that are here, on the Thursday meetings, the parents, the siblings, the children, and it's mind-blowing, because now the one girl's family is in, overseas somewhere. It's just huge that people are, able to tune in and be like, oh, there's my brother, click. He looks skinny.
But he's fit.
But he's fit.
Right. So, and I was saying this, you mentioned you've been to 2 different places before, okay? And I know from a credibility standpoint for our side of this, our words, they don't mean anything. At the end of the addiction, our words mean absolutely nothing to family members. And if we've told them twice, I'm going to rehab, this time I mean it, and it hasn't clicked yet, coming in for a 3rd time, I can empathize with families out there like, really?
100%.
What's going to be different this time?
Right.
But now they can see it. So it's not so much of even what you're saying. there's a visual aspect of this now that they can see, and you can't deny that.
Right.
Which starts to build that relationship back together again.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the way that, the way that, my sister, my family's been on board with me from way back, backing everything that I've ever done. But this was always something that has held me back in life, and almost death. And, and my sister said, maybe you just weren't ready. Maybe you weren't in the right environment. Maybe, there's lots of maybes, because everyone is different.
Yeah.
And so it's nice for them to see the progress that I've made, and that I was ready. I am ready. I'm, full bore at life and being sober with life.
It's that message from somewhere. I don't know if it's scripture or not, but it's like when the student is ready, the teacher appears, and the teacher being racing for recovery. What's your sister's name?
Karen?
Karen, if you're watching, the Kool-Aid is green. Get you some, right? No, that's all good. I love that. A couple people that have come into this, they've made statements like, God, you walk in and right away, just the visual aspect is positive. And it's, it's great, right? So you are about to take on a new adventure next week, right?
Next week.
Talk about that. Where are you doing? Where are you headed?
I am headed out to Yellowstone National Park, and just even talking about it makes me all giddy and nervous, and everything just kind of tingles. But I'm going to be out there for the summer.
Doing what?
I'm going to be working at the Old Faithful Inn, which is adjacent to the Geyser.
What's the Geyser?
The Old Faithful Geyser.
Yeah, my bad. I'm showing my...
Yeah, steam.
Yeah, I know steam.
I'm moving to a super volcano.
Awesome. Is that one of the 7 wonders that we talked about in group the other day, or not? No? All right, never mind. So what are you going to be doing there?
I'm going to be working in their restaurant, and I'm going to be setting up operations and doing some training and stuff. So,
why are you taking this opportunity?
Okay, this is going to get weird.
It's never weird. It's always good.
This timing in my life and the way that I'm sitting here now and what is happening and what, over the past months is just mind-blowing. And a couple months ago I found the ad that they were hiring out there, and I shot them an email, and that snowballed into a job offer. And so the whole reason that I'm following through with this is because this is a whole new, I used to live my life by a book of chapters. Well, that book is closed. Now this is a whole new book that is being opened, and I get to write it out, and I'm going to be able to do that sober. And just the snowball effect and the timing from when I walked in these doors, and as I progressed and started realizing myself, then this thing just pops into my life, and it's like, well, why would I even deny this?
Right.
Obviously there's a lot of what ifs, but there's bears.
Right. That's a big what if.
That's a big what
right?
if. But it's really exciting just to have this opportunity, and the support that I have from my dear friends, they're on board with it, and they're doing everything that they can because they see the value of how I even speak about it. And so who wouldn't really take this opportunity to go out, spend the summer in the woods with, you know, the best, it's been noted as the best, you know, #1 national park.
So do you look at this as an example of you empowering yourself, or do you see this as you're powerless over this?
I see this as empowering.
Absolutely.
I see this as me just seeing it, you know, a couple months ago, that would be a different answer. Absolutely. Because just the whole progress that I've made, it, you know, again, is mind-blowing to me. But, you know, I've had that time since I got the job offer and since I've known to kind of get in even deeper into myself, because I know what, you know, where I'm not going to be locally here. Mm-hmm. So I've been trying to open my brain up and, you know, get on my routine and my focus and my structure and my life, because that's going to come with me. And, you know, it's like it got handed, you know, the plate was put in front of me, and it's like all I have to do is pick up the utensils and see if I like it or not.
Absolutely. So when I talk about empowerment, I mean, I guess that can get interpreted as, well, wow, this guy, is he ready, is whatever. And
right.
Empowerment to me means I'm empowering myself to take this opportunity, knowing that, yeah, I'm going to have some obstacles, because that's life. The question that I have for you, and I want you to explain, and I know you will, is how do you continue to empower yourself by using Racing for Recovery and what you've learned while you're out there to sustain your sobriety?
This goes back to what I've been building, you know, my routine, which is rather funny. But I have my routine of my day. And, you know, obviously when I get out there, there's going to be some acorns thrown at me, and I'm going to have to figure it out, you know. But I've learned how to actually structure and get on my routine. I'm working on my diet, which is awesome. And just taking everything that I believe in, that Racing for Recovery has let me kind of see about myself, and just run with it, and just, you know, just go for it. And it's, you know, this place is, I'm always going to be in touch. Absolutely. And there's no way that I'm not going to tear up by the time this is over, because it's touched my life so much, and it's huge.
So I'm going to correlate, again, this into even where you are and where you're going, but how did you find us, and what was the initial draw to even have you come here? And the reason I'm asking you that, Pat, is what you're about to do, going out there, you've already done by coming here. So this is just another example of what you've already done on faith of saying, I'm going to give this a shot when nothing else has worked. And you're like, okay, this worked. I'm empowering myself to take it out there. But back up and talk about what was the initial draw to even come here and give us a go anyways.
I checked myself into Arrowhead, and got involved with their PHP program. And, you know, they have a really strict schedule over there, and I ended up coming into a meeting here, which changed my whole everything, you know. And for those who have been to a first meeting or a different meeting, it's a little uneasy, no matter what. I mean, you could say that you got, you know, you're comfortable or whatever, but if you're human, you're gonna feel a little, you know, a little sketchy about it. And I was sitting right over here, and, you know, we're going around the rooms, you know, around the room introductions and stuff, and Bruce was like, "Why are you here?" and I just puked all over the table. I was like, blah, 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 you know, and after that, I was getting my slip, my signature slip, and 5 or 6 people came up, and they were like, you know, hands on me, shaking my hand, and, you know, everybody was like, it's okay to feel the way you're feeling, you know, it's all right. And these are all people that I know now,
right,
you know, and, you know, for them, you know, to make that sort of impression on me and make, you know, like, it wasn't staff right off the bat, it was people, you know?
Right.
And so that really swayed, you know, I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here that I don't know about? And how can I get a piece of this?
Exactly.
I mean, straight up, that's what I saw. That's, you know, it was like, how do I feel like this dude over here who's telling me it's okay, but inside I feel like a piece of crap.
Right. So, and we don't, as people can tell by now that are following us, we don't do the drunk alog war story because it's irrelevant. However, with what you just said there about looking at somebody going, well, I want that, that's no different than what we do in the drug world.
Right.
You see people that are unfortunately hurting and making bad choices to deal with that hurt, and you're like, well, I want that too. This is the same thing, except this you get a life out of, and the other one, everything gets taken from you. That's what I hear you saying right there.
And, man, how come we couldn't have rehearsed this?
And it's no fun. We don't do that.
You know, it's so moving to even be at this table and to be, you know, knowing that someone I know may be checking it out. I mean, what's up? But, you know, it blows my mind on the transformation that I've made with being so involved here, you know, and being around positive people. It's really put me on a whole different plane of thinking and a new outlook on life.
Okay, here's another question for you with respect to that. Could you say, or would you say, you could experience these feelings had you not made the effort of what we do here? Would you have gotten out of this what you have if you didn't do anything action-wise while you're here?
Absolutely not. That would make no sense, because, you know, for me it was, first I had to understand everything. It took me a little while to kind of figure it out. Like I knew what direction I wanted my life to go in just by seeing smiles and you know, just all the good vibes. And so once I kind of sat in the back seat, you know, I was like, okay, let me observe, let me see what's going on over there, you know, and so there's a gym, but, you know, so if I incorporate all, you know, a few of these things and switch my game up a little bit, you know, cut out the drinking, you know, and all that bullshit, screw all that, I want what's over here. Mm-hmm. And so once the switches kind of started flickering a little bit, I was like, holy crap, I like it.
Right.
You know, and now it's just embedded because I 100% believe that, you know, if somebody's ready and if somebody is down to start moving their life in a totally solid direction, I mean, this is the spot, you know, and I'm a perfect example because I was against, you know, with the bad tastes, you know, with certain other programs, you know, I was like, there's no way. I'm just gonna go continue. You know, I just needed to sober up. And I didn't take in the factor of, you know, dying or anything. That didn't matter. Of course, I minimize it, but it is what it is. And so, like, once I made the decision that that's where I wanted my life to go, that I'm sick of being in the shit, you know, and I wanted to be somewhere else. And once I paid attention and kind of got the vibe going, I was like, "Oh crap, let's go."
Full throttle.
Yeah.
So this is how I'm going to have you give us your backstory. I want you to use just words to describe what the lifestyle of addiction was like for you.
How many words?
As many as you want.
It was troublesome. It was really, it was an express train to death.
Give me some descriptions of that express train. Was there despair?
Yes and no. There was a lot of isolation because, you know, even working and stuff like that, I didn't associate that a whole lot. You know, when I really was really into myself and, you know, my addiction, you know, it just made sense to me not to just be around anybody. And, you know, dark apartment, you know, I would only leave to go up the street or go to work, and I didn't have any friends, kept everybody away, and I thought that was normal. And, you know, I didn't think that I had a problem. I just thought that's the way that I was and that's how I'm going to be. And where are we going with this?
Just asking you how the description of what that lifestyle was like.
Dark.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what I described.
Was there any...
Selfish.
Yeah, sorry. Go, yeah.
No, please.
Was there any... I mean, is there any productivity in that? Was there a positive outlook in any of that?
Well, you know, I thought there was.
Right.
I thought that I was being a better person by locking myself and isolating because you wouldn't want to see me this way. So I'm just going to, you know, I'm just going to keep to myself. I'll pass you in the hallway or see you on the street. Hi, how you doing? Yeah, that's great. But you don't want to get involved with me. I'm trouble. So I'm just going to stay to my own side of the road, and I'm okay with that.
Todd, any questions for Pat yet?
I have a lot of positive feedback for you. Blessing hearing about another recovery. Keep up the great work. Best wishes, Patrick. You're in a great place physically and personally. Daughter speaks very highly of you, Patrick. Other comments that people have been from group with you. Best of luck. You're an amazing person. You know, it's awesome. Good stuff.
So this is what I want to start to segue into closing with. So we talked about, you gave the words in the express train to, you know, hell on addiction. Give me some descriptive words and feelings of what it's like to not be on that other train anymore. What's this new train like?
I have hope. I have hope that I've never thought that, I thought it was all gone. I thought that I had lived my life, you know, at my age. I thought it was, you know, I was cool. I'm good. All that's in the past. I'm just going to be mellow and whatever. And now I have a lot to offer.
Yep.
And it's really kind of sad that I'm leaving, because I've met some solid people here, and you know, it's coming up quick, but I've got a whole new outlook on life now, and I can't, you know, in the past when I was growing up, suicide never crossed my mind. I was not that guy. I was always the solid dude getting it done. And there, you know, when it got dark, it was like, well, who wants me around anyways? That's what it drove me to. And, you know, what we have here really shined a light on my life, and that it gave me that fire back under my ass, and it said, go get it, man. Go be you. Just don't use drugs. Which, I mean, when that light shines, you know, when the blinders, you know, get taken off, and it's like, holy crap.
Right? Yeah.
Wow, like, let's go get it. Let's go bike down to, you know, let's go for a walk. Let's, you know, do something sweet.
So when you were describing, like, no, it's all good. You know who the Carpenters are? Singers? Remember those guys? Mm-hmm. They had a song, and by the way, she basically killed herself from anorexia and died, which is unfortunate. But one of those songs that they sang was "We've Only Just Begun." Mm-hmm. And when you started talking, for some reason that song came to mind. It's like, no, man, your life's not over. Mm-hmm. It's just starting. Right. A new, healthier, productive version of the already good dude is going to truly shine now without that baggage. And that's exciting, right?
It's
that's
so exciting.
Yeah.
And yep.
No, I was just going to say.
And it's so exciting, and I've mentioned this to someone else. I mean, and I've heard it from other people. It's like, I mean, if it was as simple as a Kool-Aid,
right,
this world would be a better place.
Wow. I almost could let us close with that, but I don't want to. So what I want to know.
I was going to hit the applause button.
No, one more thing. What can you now see that since you have improved you, how do you see that has helped your family? You know what I'm asking you? Yeah. That
they've got me back.
Yep.
I mean, I know I'm moving. I'm sorry, but you know, I'm back in action. I'm back. You know, I'm not back to how I was, because that was drinking and whatever. But you know, every minute, every day, every hour, all that. I mean, it's like them seeing me on here just lets them know that I'm charging again, you know, and that, you know, there is life out there to be had by everyone, you know, and that it's not just a number. I mean, now it sucks to say, but it's like, I don't want to, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Not that it sucks to say, but it's like, okay, do you, but if you want to know how I'm me now, come on.
So here's what I'm asking of you then. Once you get out, get settled, on Thursdays we'll have you be a Skype caller in, and we'll put you up for everybody else to see about how it's going out there. Because that's one of the things I'm hearing a lot of, is people want, you know, updates on what people are doing. So go out there and do your thing and keep in touch with us, and we'll bring you back.
I plan on calling Steven and being like, hey
man.
you know, but yeah, I definitely, and especially like I'm going to a place and I'm going to be experiencing things that pretty much only a handful of people in their life are going to be able to, you know, to A, see, and B, live it. And so, I mean, there's nothing for granted on my end because it's all just beyond anything I can imagine right now. And, you know, so by staying connected, I'll be able to send pictures of certain flowers or a certain waterfall or some crap like that
Absolutely.
you know, someone may not be able to see.
We're proud of you. Appreciate you doing this. And in closing, I want to say to anybody that's out there, again, that's watching this, is my vision, and Pat's doing the same thing. Anybody that's watching this that's hurting, if it's yourself, it's a loved one, go to racingforrecovery.org, call us, watch some of these episodes, but know that you too can be sitting up here someday. This is not a privileged group. This is available to anybody that seeks it and then puts the effort into reap the benefits of it. So for everybody who's watching and supporting Racing for Recovery, thank you, because you've made this dude happen.
Love you guys.
Good job.